Section 1. Gunda, 1998. The Bollywood movie that had zero chill. Hook. Imagine if someone took every 90s Bollywood action cliché, put them in a blender, pressed max power, and somehow forgot to turn it off. Congratulations. You've just created Gunda. This isn't a movie. This is a confidence competition where everyone wins. Nobody whispers. Nobody walks normally. Nobody has a casual conversation. Every single character behaves like they're about to give the final speech before the world ends. And the best part? Everyone is 100% serious. That's what makes this movie legendary. So today we're diving into one of Bollywood's biggest cult classics, a film that the internet refused to let die. Trust me, by the end of this video you'll either want to watch Gunda, or you'll wonder how it was ever made. Either way, you're in for a ride. Intro. Before we begin, if you love old Bollywood movies getting the Gen Z treatment, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every week we revisit Bollywood's most chaotic, weird, and unforgettable movies. Now, let's talk about Gunda. Released in 1998 and directed by Kanthi Shah, this movie wasn't a huge hit when it first came out. People mostly saw it as another low-budget action film. But then, the internet happened. Clips started going viral. People began quoting the movie. Memes appeared everywhere. Suddenly Gunda wasn't just a movie anymore. It had become a cultural phenomenon. And honestly, I completely understand why. Because this film has something modern movies often don't. Personality. Not realism. Not subtle storytelling. Pure personality. Every frame feels like the filmmakers woke up and said, let's make the most dramatic action movie anyone has ever seen. Mission accomplished. Section 2. Why everyone talks about Gunda. The first thing you'll notice is confidence. This movie has more confidence than a guy who watches one motivational reel and immediately updates his bio to future billionaire. Nobody in this film doubts themselves. The hero enters like he already knows he's the main character. The villains behave like the entire world belongs to them. Even side characters somehow have enough dramatic energy to steal attention. And then, there's the camera. Bro. Who gave the cameraman unlimited zoom? Every emotional moment. Zoom. Every angry face. Zoom. Someone blinks? Probably another zoom. It's almost like the camera itself wants an acting credit. Then comes the background music. Modern filmmakers sometimes use silence to create suspense. Gunda looked at silence and said, not in this house. Every emotion gets dramatic music. Walking? Music. Talking? Music. Looking at someone? More music. By the end you don't even notice it anymore because your brain has accepted that this universe simply doesn't believe in quiet moments. And honestly, respect. If you're going to be over the top, commit completely. That's exactly what this movie does. The acting. Here's something I genuinely appreciate. Nobody looks embarrassed. Nobody acts like they're above the material. Every actor commits fully. Whether they're angry, sad, threatening someone, or delivering an intense speech, they're giving everything they've got. And that's why Gunda became a cult classic. Because sincerity is surprisingly entertaining. If everyone had treated the movie like a joke, it probably would have been forgotten. Instead, they believed in every scene. And that belief somehow makes the entire experience even more enjoyable. You start watching ironically, but after a while you catch yourself thinking, you know what? They're actually giving it their all. And I respect that. That's something you can't fake. Part 2A, when logic leaves the chat. So, we've talked about the confidence. We've talked about the acting. Now let's discuss the thing that probably became the movie's biggest selling point. The action. Listen, action movies usually try to convince you that what you're seeing could actually happen. Gunda doesn't even attempt that. It's operating in its own universe. This is the kind of movie where everyone seems to have unlimited stamina. Nobody gets tired. Nobody gives up. Everyone keeps coming back with exactly the same dramatic energy they had 5 minutes earlier. It's honestly impressive. If determination could be converted into electricity, this movie could power an entire city. And then there's the Part 2B. The internet discovers Gunda. Now let's talk about why the internet fell in love with it. When social media started rediscovering older Bollywood films, Gunda stood out immediately. People clipped the most over-the-top moments. Reaction channels couldn't stop talking about it. Meme pages found endless material. And suddenly, a film that many people had forgotten was getting introduced to an entirely new generation. That's the fascinating part. The audience changed, but the entertainment value didn't. Gen Z watches it differently than people did in the late 90s. Today, many viewers enjoy it as a celebration of unapologetic Bollywood excess. It's not about laughing at the movie. It's about appreciating how fearlessly it embraces its own identity. One thing I genuinely admire is that the film never tries to be something it's not. It isn't chasing realism. It isn't pretending to be subtle. It knows exactly what kind of experience it's offering. Maximum drama. Maximum action. Maximum entertainment. And honestly, there's something refreshing about that. In an era where many movies are carefully calculated, Gunda feels completely unfiltered. It swings for the fences with every creative decision. Sometimes it works brilliantly. Sometimes it becomes unintentionally funny. But it's almost never boring. That's a quality many forgettable films would love to have. At the end of the day, people don't remember every technically perfect movie they watch. They remember the ones that made them feel something. Whether that's excitement, surprise, or simply asking, did that really just happen? Gunda delivers those moments again and again. And that's exactly why people are still talking about it decades later. Now that we've covered the movie's wild style and the internet's obsession with it, let's answer the biggest question of all. Why has Gunda earned its place as one of Bollywood's greatest cult classics? So after everything we've talked about, the biggest question still remains. Why is Gunda still relevant after all these years? Think about it. Hundreds of Bollywood action movies came out during the 90s. Most of them disappeared. Some are remembered by fans. But Gunda? Almost everyone on the internet has heard of it. That's actually pretty incredible. The answer is simple. It's unforgettable. Whether you love it, laugh with it, or simply watch it out of curiosity, the movie leaves an impression. And that's something no amount of CGI or giant budgets can guarantee. One thing I genuinely admire about Gunda is its confidence. The film never apologizes for what it is. It doesn't try to become realistic halfway through. It doesn't suddenly become serious in a different style. It commits to its larger-than-life identity from beginning to end. That's surprisingly rare. Modern movies often try to please everyone. Gunda feels like it was made without that fear. It has its own personality, its own rhythm, and its own style. That's probably why it found a second life on the internet. People didn't rediscover it because it was technically perfect. They rediscovered it because it was unique. In the age of memes, reaction videos, and short clips, unique always wins. Every generation finds something different to enjoy. Older audiences remember it as a 90s action film. Internet users celebrate it as a cult classic. Content creators love discussing it because there's always something interesting to say about its filmmaking, performances, and fearless commitment to entertainment. And honestly, that's a pretty amazing legacy. Not every movie gets a second chance. This one did. So, is Gunda one of the greatest action films ever made? Probably not. Is it one of the most entertaining cult classics Bollywood has ever produced? Absolutely. It's loud. It's dramatic. It's exaggerated. It's unforgettable. Sometimes cinema doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it just needs enough personality that people are still talking about it decades later. And Gunda definitely has personality. Whether you watch it for nostalgia, curiosity, or simply to experience one of Bollywood's most talked about cult films, you'll probably understand why it has remained part of internet culture for so long. So if you've never seen it, maybe give it a watch and decide for yourself. Who knows? You might end up understanding exactly why this movie has such a dedicated fan base. And if you've already seen it, let me know your favorite aspect of the film in the comments. Was it the larger-than-life performances? The unforgettable style? Or just the fact that the movie commits so completely to its own unique vision? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, And turn on notifications because we've got plenty more classic Bollywood movies to revisit. Drop your suggestions in the comments for which legendary film I should cover next. Until then, take care, keep watching great cinema, and sometimes wonderfully chaotic cinema, and I'll see you in the next video.